Hey everybody, Crypto Mentor 99. How you doing? So I have a special guest tonight, and was it 2 or 3 days ago on Twitter, I just put out a real simple tweet. I said, hey, I'll interview anybody and everybody that has something that they want to say on my YouTube channel. And of course, I'm naive. I thought I would get 30, 40, 50 responses. Dave responded. So Dave, thanks for responding and taking time out of your evening to come and talk to me.
Yeah, no worries. Happy to talk cryptos.
So again, in my naiveness, I thought maybe I'd get a couple of ICO guys going, hey, there's some stuff that I want to talk about, but yeah, this is perfect. So yesterday, Dave and I talked what I call kind of the pre-interview. We said, hey, let's go about 20, 25 minutes. And Dave shared some of his story and I shared a little bit of mine. So Dave, why don't we just start kind of with some 101 stuff. How and when did you get interested in cryptos and or first hear about cryptocurrency or Bitcoin or Litecoin or whatever?
Okay, right. Well, I first heard of Bitcoin probably about 7 years ago. And I was actually going to try to buy Bitcoin 7 years ago. And people say, oh, I wish I would have bought Bitcoin when it was, 20 cents or $5 or whatnot. The challenge with that is that it was almost impossible to buy unless you're a really, really techie guy.
Okay.
I couldn't figure out how to do it. I couldn't figure out how to buy Bitcoin. You had to do, I don't even remember, it was so long ago. I gave up on it. And then, Bitcoin, I kind of actually lost track of Bitcoin. It was just out of sight, out of mind, and I moved on to other things. But I got into Bitcoin almost 2 years ago, and it was almost, I guess there are no accidents, right? There are no coincidences, but I was an Amazon seller. They call it Amazon FBA, which means fulfillment by Amazon. You sell your white label product and whatnot. But
okay,
I did that for a while. I did that for just over a year.
Okay,
and the product I had just one product, and it did extremely well. I worked super hard because it's such a competitive environment on Amazon. But I'm a marketing bulldog. That's probably a label that I've labeled myself a marketing bulldog. I just don't give up. I just go after it. But it became extremely successful. I sold the business because it just took off. I ended up selling the Amazon business through a broker. So there are brokers out there that will sell businesses, online businesses. So this broker sold the business for me. And when it came time to being paid, he asked me if I want to get paid in a wire transfer, if I want to get paid in Bitcoin. And I said, oh, Bitcoin, yeah, I remember that. I tried to buy it a while ago. I couldn't figure it out. Yeah, I took a partial payment in Bitcoin. And at that time, Bitcoin was $1,000 per Bitcoin, just over $1,000. This was March of 2017. So yes, wow. I'm almost 2 years now into this game. So and I got in at the right time. The timing was perfect because then the bull market really ramped up shortly after that. And as you know, and a lot of people know, that Bitcoin went up to almost $20,000 in less than a year. It went parabolic, and then a lot of people know, and you're aware too, that Bitcoin now is in the $3,000 range, $4,000 range. But Bitcoin does this, so I guess I don't want to get off on this rabbit trail too far because you asked me how I got into it. So that's how I got into Bitcoin. It was a very happy accident that I got into it. And but after that though I really studied the cryptocurrency space. I studied Bitcoin. Then I realized there's more than Bitcoin. Actually, I did hear of Litecoin a while ago as well. I remember I just knew of Bitcoin, and I knew of Litecoin ages ago because Litecoin is actually 7 years old now, about 7 years old. Bitcoin is now 10 years old. But I did know of Litecoin when it was just pennies, and now it's $30, 30 whatever it is. But
yeah. Well, let's back up a second, Dave, because this is good.
Sorry.
So let's go back. No, this is good. This is amazing.
Okay.
So you first hear about Bitcoin, you try to buy it, gave up or just said, hey, don't have the time, or, it was kind of hard to buy. And then a time goes by, you sell your business, and the broker out of the blue says, hey, I'll pay you X in fiat or whatever he said, and would you mind taking, the rest in Bitcoin? And you're like, wow, Bitcoin. Wow, yeah. Like, did you have to think about it for a while, or was the guy like, hey, think about it for a day or two and get back with me? Or were you like, hot diggity dog, I'll take it?
No, I thought about it. I thought about it for a week. And I counseled some of my friends who were not into Bitcoin at the time, but it's interesting is there was something, there was like this new energy about Bitcoin and cryptos in this, where I live. And the people, my friends that I talked to, and I said, should I take some Bitcoin? And they were like, yeah, you should. Even though they were not into Bitcoin at the time.
Okay.
So I said, okay, well, I'll do that. I'll take a little bit, what's the risk, So I accepted some in Bitcoin. And shortly after that, these same friends got into Bitcoin at about the same time. We were all kind of helping each other, to be able to buy, because I ended up buying more.
Sure.
My friends, were buying. And then it's a lot easier now to buy Bitcoin than it was 6 or 7 years ago. So that's, there's no question about it now. It was, it's easier now. It's easier.
So what was your level of, where was your crypto education at, like kindergarten, preschool, first grade, when the broker said, would you like a percentage in Bitcoin? Were you like, oh man, this is real speculative? Or were you like, well, I know a little bit about it? Or were you like, oh no, I'm really confident that this is going to go up to 20,000 in a couple of years?
No, at that time, I had no idea that it would go to $20,000 in 9 months. I had no idea.
Oh my God!
I was expecting. To be honest, I was expecting it was Bitcoin as just to be in a form of a savings, right?
Okay.
I mean, I was thinking that it would keep ahead of inflation, similar to gold, and technically Bitcoin is gold 2.0, and we could go into that whenever or another whatever. But
sure.
But I learned though after studying it though. So to answer your question, at the time I didn't know anything about Bitcoin. I didn't know what a public address was.
Okay.
I didn't know what a public key. I didn't know what a private key was. But I studied hard. I studied the crypto space very hard, and it's my full time. It's my full time gig now. I mean, that's all I do. I wake up, I read, learning about projects. I learn about cryptos and the developments and whatnot. And I enjoy it though. It's my passion. I love talking about cryptocurrencies, and I love helping people to get involved, because I think that cryptos are the future. They're not going to go anywhere. The Bitcoin crash from 20,000 to 3,000 has made people run for the hills. They're like, no, I don't want to touch this anymore. And the sentiment for Bitcoin is pretty low. It's starting to come up now, but when the sentiment of an asset vehicle is at an all-time low and nobody wants it, that's the best time to get in. I mean, wouldn't you agree?
Yeah. Well, it was kind of interesting, or sometimes I think I'm the Forrest Gump of crypto investing, Forrest Gump. And I don't know, I forget, maybe 4 or 5 years ago, I walked into a silver store, or a coin store actually, about, 5 or 6 miles away. And I was really naive back then. I didn't even know you could buy silver rounds, okay? And I just walked in, I'm like, yeah, tell me about silver. And the guy's like, oh, you must be a contrarian. I'm like, what's that? Is that bad? He's like, no. He's like, you just go against, what everybody's saying on the mainstream media. I'm like, oh, yeah, I guess. I mean, I kind of knew what it was. It wasn't like I didn't know what the word was, but it kind of took me off guard. So when I was buying silver, everybody thought I was crazy. And then when I got into, cryptocurrencies, then it confirmed to my friends that I was crazy. But I was going to say this until later, but why don't we segue into your Patreon channel? So everybody that's listening, so on the pre-interview last night, almost exactly 24 hours ago, Dave said, hey, Dave sheepishly said, well, hey, I got a Patreon channel. Would you mind if I said something? I said, absolutely. That's one of the points of the interview, to talk about crypto. And if someone else out there has a message, get a hold of me. I'd love to interview you. So, David, why don't you tell us about your Patreon channel and kind of why you started it, where you're at, what your niche is, and what you kind of have to offer people.
Okay. Well, for people that are not familiar with Patreon, I know that some people are, some people are still not familiar with it. Patreon it's a place where creators, it's like a network of creators. So if whatever your passion is, in my case, it's cryptocurrencies. I write tutorials on how to buy Bitcoin. I write tutorials on how to keep Bitcoin. You know, the Bitcoin wallet is what it's called. I write about, you know, projects that I'm passionate about, that I believe are just going to, you know, be around for a long time and make investors a lot of money. That's the main reason people want to join.
Okay.
Or want to learn about Bitcoin and cryptos. You know, cryptocurrencies is a way, it's going to change the world. But a lot of people, honestly, they want to get in to make some money, and that's why I got more into it, because I realized it's a great way to, you know, make profit in a relatively short amount of time. But so I started the page because I wanted to help more people to get into the space, because here I live in Thailand. It's a city called Chiang Mai, Thailand, and I know we talked about that. Yeah. I told you we talked yesterday, and I don't think you knew much about Chiang Mai, but it's actually the blockchain central or hub of all of Southeast Asia. There's a lot of blockchain startups that come here to Chiang Mai, and but at the time, though, 2 years ago, the blockchain scene here was just starting to take off, but there was so many people. They said, "How do I buy Bitcoin? How do I buy Ethereum? How do I buy, you know, whatever?" Right? And so I would end up tutoring a lot of people to get into the space, and I did it. You know, it took a lot of time, but I said, "Well, I'll just do a Patreon page, and I can just share with more people.
Sure.
I can replicate myself, so to speak.
You bet.
Share with people about how to get into the space." And so that's why I did it, and that's what the Patreon page is about. So, yeah.
So now, don't be bashful now. So let everybody know the different on-ramps or entry points that they could be, for lack of a better word, connected to you through the Patreon channel.
Okay. Yeah. So most people join. Well, I've only got I'll be honest. I've only got a handful of subscribers, and get people to learn about Bitcoin and cryptos during a bear market. Like I said, the sentiment is like totally flat. And to get people that are interested now, they're just, you know, there's like, I don't really care. Bitcoin's a scam and whatnot. But, you know, I got just a handful of subscribers. But if people, you know, if they're interested and want to learn how to buy Bitcoin and secure it and maybe buy some of the altcoins, which I do recommend. I have a crypto silver. Speaking of silver, it's called a crypto silver level. It's $18.88 per month.
Okay.
Quit anytime you want. If you say, "Oh, Dave's not giving me the value that I need. I know everything I need to know now," you can cancel anytime. I have a level called the gold level, which is $99 a month, and that's one-on-one support. And if you're here in Thailand, great. We'll sit together. We'll figure everything out. If we're not, we'll do it over Skype. You know,
sure.
I'll help, you know, whatever I can. But so that's the two main levels I have. And but the crypto silver access is, if you read everything I have on there, and I have a lot of content on there. If you study everything on there, you're going to know exactly how to buy Bitcoin. You're going to know how to buy Ethereum. You're going to know how to buy Litecoin, DigiByte, or whatnot. You're going to know how to keep it securely, and you know how to make trades. You know how to make trades. You'll know everything you'll need to know just by the $18 access. So.
Well, it was kind of interesting, or at least interesting to me. Thanksgiving 2017. Let me say that right. Thanksgiving 2017. So November 2017, I was at my son-in-law's house, who's married to my oldest daughter. And that weekend, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, I had more cryptocurrency conversations in those 4 days than I had 2 years prior. And
right.
this is going to sound kind of weird. I was almost sorry that I brought up the subject, because just for like banter, for conversation, because more and more people started hearing about, and for like 3 or 4 months, people were calling me, not morning, noon, and night, but they were inundating me with phone calls. How do I do this? How do I do that? And I'm like, I'm not really your guy for that. Like, I can tell you how to do it, and I did help a few friends, but, and I like to think that I'm a patient person, and this isn't like what you do is not my niche. And I just said, you know what? Go on YouTube or find someone. I said I could point you in the right direction, but I'm still amazed, and I still consider myself new, how many people, and this isn't a bad thing, need their hand. I need my hand held sometimes. So I think it's a tremendous,
yeah, we all do.
You know, a tremendous service that you're offering. And like you said, in this market, you know, it's almost like cryptocurrencies. Are you kidding? But, you know, once the price obviously starts bumping up, everybody's going to change their tune a little bit.
Yeah, yeah, and the same here is when, around Thanksgiving 2017 is when I was getting emails from people I haven't heard from in years, and somehow they said, "Oh, I heard you're into Bitcoin." I'm like, "Well, how did you know that?" And I heard, a friend of a friend, whatnot. I'm like, "Okay," and can we do something together? And can we do a joint venture together? Can we do this together? I'm like, "Yeah, okay, that's fine." But the excitement from that period, which was we're now into 13-month bear market. The excitement there was just unbelievable. The energy, and I mean, I'd like to use the word energy in this case. Just the vibe and the energy here, and I'm sure all around the world, was just like unbelievable. There's this excitement, and I'd meet up with friends and say, "Hey, what crypto are you into now?" And people would be quote unquote shilling their own coin that they like so much, and my coin's better than yours, and all this, friendly rivalries were happening, and it's still going on here. And friendly, people have their opinions of what coins they like, etc.
Sure.
But now, now the energy is totally flat, but it's gonna pick up again, and I think I'm looking at. I posted on Patreon a week ago about these trends about Bitcoin. And what happens is with Bitcoin, it has this halving period, and I know you're familiar with the Bitcoin halving come up. Actually, May of 2020 is when the Bitcoin halving comes up, and that's when the rewards for Bitcoin are cut in half. It happens every 4 years. It gets cut in half. So I think it's 12. So May 2020, the rewards will be six Bitcoin or 6.5 Bitcoin. Sorry, I can't quite remember those specifics, but essentially the rewards for mining Bitcoin are cut in half every 4 years, so it becomes more scarce. It becomes scarcer to mine. It becomes more valuable. What happens though? Almost exactly a year prior to the Bitcoin halving, so which would put it May of this year, that's when the bull market really starts to take off. It happens a year before the halving, not at the halving, not a month before, but a year. And I'm looking at a chart, and it's just amazing, this pattern that just happens every 4 years. It really starts to take off. And I predict by so May I think we're gonna start to see some really good gains in Bitcoin and some of the altcoins. Next year is going to be absolutely crazy. We're going to see the parabolic moves that we saw last year. We're going to see some really good moves. But I'm telling you, this year is going to be a good year too. Though I mean, I'm looking at Coin Market Cap, and I'm just seeing the bloodbath still going on. Yeah. But there's opportunity in bloodbath as well because you can trade a little bit. But and I'm not worried though. And I know you're in this space for a while. I've seen your videos before. You're buying your coins for your grandkids. I remember you saying that a few times, and I respect that. I think that's great. You're doing it. It's a savings plan for your grandkids. That's fantastic. But we're going to see a turnaround here in just a few months. We're going to see a turnaround. So,
maybe we could do another video interview about this. But I watched a video about, I don't know, everything seems like a month ago, where the guy said, hey, I'm just a regular guy. I'm doing YouTube videos. And he said, I didn't, I'm not really a trader per se, but he sold some of his Bitcoin at like 17,000. And I guess I was so new in the space that I was like, I'm going to hold on for dear life forever. And then when it ran up, to almost 20,000, man, I'm looking at my account going, oh my gosh, like this is good. And then when it started going down again, I'm like, you know what? I said that Mrs. Crypto Mentor 99, I said, I may do things a little different when we run up again. Like, I don't know what again, I'm not a trader. I'm just a guy in my basement doing videos, but there's going to come a time where if it goes up to 20, 25, I may not stick my head in the sand and hodl for the rest of my life. I may take something off the table and go on vacation or something because I don't want it to go back down. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've got a whole new strategy going into this next run.
Yeah, that's a smart idea because Bitcoin moves in these cycles that we discussed. It moves in these cycles, and it goes flat, it goes parabolic, it quote unquote crashes, and then it starts to recover. It goes flat, it goes parabolic again. So Bitcoin's going to repeat the same, and cryptos, it's going to repeat the same cycle every 4 years.
Yeah.
And fortunately, we're at or very close to the bottom. I don't know where the exact bottom of Bitcoin is. I really, nobody knows. These traders, they say, oh, Bitcoin's going to go down to $1,300, and some people say, oh, we're at the bottom now. I couldn't tell you where the bottom is, but I do know that we are so close to the bottom, and we're only, if anything, we're months away. If it goes to $1,000, or if this is the bottom now, to me, it doesn't matter. Yeah. And if somebody were to buy Bitcoin now at what is Bitcoin, $3,400, and it goes down to, let's say it goes down to $1,500. Not likely, but in this space, anything can happen. I say there's pennies to lose, dollars to gain.
Yeah.
So if they buy it, if someone buys it at $3,400 and it goes down to $1,500, for example, or $25 or whatnot, I say just hold on for a while. We're going to see these parabolic moves again, and eventually, I just read an article yesterday. This guy makes a pretty good case for Bitcoin hitting $10 million eventually. I mean, not 5 years from now.
Sure.
I mean, who knows with the debt collapse? Who knows? I'm not saying I agree with the $10 million Bitcoin, but I do think that $500,000 Bitcoin is possible. But let me I'll talk in more recent terms and more realistic terms, and it's actually pretty close to that. But also, and I described this on my site, is that okay. So look at this. So think about this. So 9 or 10 years ago, 10,000 Bitcoins bought a couple of pizzas. Yeah. Right. The pizza story, right? Okay. Now think about this. Right now, even after the quote unquote crash in Bitcoin, where Bitcoin is went from $20,000 to $3,400. So 10 Bitcoin will buy a car. 10 Bitcoin right now will buy you a car.
Wow.
What's in 5 years or less, when Bitcoin's going to be able to buy you a comfortable house?
Yeah.
It's just looking at the patterns. There's these the fundamentals don't lie, the patterns don't lie. It's amazing. It's the best. It's the best opportunity. It's the most amazing opportunity that we will ever see in our lifetimes is Bitcoin and the cryptos.
Well, I laugh to myself, and every once in a while, Dave, I'll slip this in on one of my videos, but I remember the day, March, and I tell people, check me on this, fact check me, March 4th of 2018, I'm in Albuquerque, New Mexico, and I'm just like, I'm going to see what Litecoin is. I like Litecoin, own some, so I'm going to see what Litecoin is at, and I looked, and again, I'm being sarcastic, it was at the high price of $2.82. And I'm like, that's a lot.
Yeah, right.
That's a lot for Litecoin. Or no, wait, it was either 282 or 382. But I'm like, I think it was under $3. It was $2.82. I'm like, that's a lot for Litecoin. And I'm like, I laugh and I'm going, I could have bought a boatload and now and then retire in Thailand, It's
right.
I'm like,
yeah, now look at the price, right?
Oh my gosh.
Look at the price. Even after the collapse, Litecoin went to close to $400, just over a year ago, right? Now it's 30 something dollars, but it's amazing. It's amazing the parabolic moves that these cryptos can do. And so you were laughing at, that's funny though. Okay. And I want to kind of, if it's okay,
sure.
I would like to switch gears a little bit and
sure.
talk to some of the cryptos. So, and it's interesting too, though. You and I seem to like a lot of the same projects. I've watched a lot of your videos before, and so you were laughing at the $2 or $3 Litecoin. You're saying it's too expensive, but here's my prediction: is there's a coin called DigiByte, which I'm pretty sure you like DigiByte.
Yeah, yes.
We talked about DigiByte before. I like DigiByte a lot as well. And DigiByte right now is less than a penny, and we're gonna see a $2 or $3 DigiByte a lot sooner rather than later.
Wow!
From a penny. I mean, that's parabolic moves. Will it happen this year? It could happen this year. Will it happen next year? I would say it's very likely to happen next year if it doesn't happen this year. A $2 DigiByte. I mean, that's
crazy.
The gains are unbelievable. I mean, I know you like DigiByte, and I don't know if you have predictions of what, and nobody really knows, but
right.
I've studied the fundamentals. I've studied DigiByte more than most other cryptos because it is the most solid coin out there. It's the most solid technology out there. And the team has been working on DigiByte. It's now 5 years old. It just turned 5 years old.
Right.
Jared Tate and the DigiByte team have been working, almost every day, as far as I can tell, almost every day I've been working on the DigiByte blockchain, doing improvements with it. I like Litecoin. I own Litecoin. I know you like Litecoin too, and I think Litecoin's great. The challenge with Litecoin is, and I own Litecoin. I love Litecoin. I have a T-shirt that has Litecoin on it. There is a challenge though. They haven't really done a lot of improvements. They did segue the Litecoin. They made it faster, and they're going to try to do a Lightning Network on it, but. There hasn't been a lot of work done on Litecoin. What impresses me with DigiByte, they're just always working on it. There's so many things coming out for DigiByte, and I mean, I don't want to bore you or your listeners about all the tech that's going on, but I like it. I think it's gonna make a lot of people a lot of money in the next year or two. So I'm excited about it.
Yeah, I know.
What do you think, though? What are your thoughts on it?
I know on Twitter. Jared and Josiah, they post a lot, and
yep.
I got to give them credit. And again, without naming, I'm not naming names, but without saying everything, all the projects that I'm invested in, which isn't like 20 or 30, they're the most vocal founders or whatever. Sometimes I still think in terms of businesses like CEO and president, vice president, but they're really fun guys to watch on the Twitter. And I've done a few videos on DigiByte, and I'll say my story again. I found DigiByte. I bought like 4 segments of DigiByte. I bought it under a penny. I bought it 3 cents. I bought it 5 cents, and I bought it 7 cents. And I don't care. I'm still buying it, And
yeah.
Again, I'm not the sharpest knife in the drawer, but I know what dollar cost averaging is. And again, I'm in it for 2020, 2022, 20. I mean, I'm in it, we'll both have triple the gray hair, and we'll still be talking about, DigiByte. And it's a real vibrant community on Telegram as well as Twitter. I get a kick out of the guys and the girls that are all excited about DigiByte because it is, I don't want to say it's on sale. I guess everything's kind of on sale, but it's not Bitcoin. It's not Litecoin. It's like you said, Dave, it's under a penny, and I don't think it's speculation, but gosh, if it's under a penny, I mean, come on. I mean, throw some money at it, you know?
Throw some money at it. Yeah, well, and if people are a little bit sheepish about getting into cryptos, if they're nervous about it, they're afraid they're going to lose money, and if they don't have a lot of money to invest, I just say put in some of your couch change, that you find, between the cushions or whatnot, or throw in $100 or something into DigiByte, or I mean that's what I would recommend. I mean, and I let people choose. I lay the facts out. I say here's what I like. Read all the information that I have. But ultimately, it's your choice. Whatever you want to, whatever feels good to you. After reading all the facts, whatever's good for you. For me, I think DigiByte is going to see probably the most gains of just about any other coin out there. It's my opinion. I don't know the future.
Yeah.
It is my opinion. I've studied it quite a bit, but I still know this cryptocurrency is a very unpredictable, irrational space. You can look at the fundamentals and make a pretty decent decision. But sometimes something just happens, and this coin that shouldn't be at the top 10 goes to the top 10 or top 50 or whatnot, and then it disappears. But so I think I've totally lost track of what I'm talking about. I'm going to talk about DigiByte. Oh yeah, so we're talking about this savings plan. I say put in $25 or $100 into DigiByte. You're going to buy, so $100 buys you 11,000 DigiByte, I think. 11,000 DigiByte. Let's say it goes to $1. Let's say for simple math, it goes to $1. In 2020, I'd say it's extremely likely to go to $1 by next year, maybe this year, who knows? So that $100, you now have $11,000 in value. Now that's savings. Yeah. I mean, I'm being funny a little bit. That's obviously one heck of an investment, but I mean that's a plan right there. If it let's say it goes to a nickel next year, you've still made incredible gains. And let's say it stays the same value, you haven't lost anything. But I mean, going to nickel is like a no-brainer. That may happen, in the next 10 days. Who knows? But who knows? This space is so crazy. And I'll be honest with you though, is investing in Bitcoin and cryptos is not real. It's not for the faint of heart. If you're going to put a lot of money into it, if you put in a little bit of money and you just forget about it, don't look at coin market cap every day or every hour like I do. But I mean, this is my business, so I look at it obviously. But just put some money in it and forget about it. You put it in cold storage or put it into Exodus wallet and just forget about it. Then you're not losing sleep overnight if it drops 50% in value overnight.
No, that's good. So we've been going about 35 minutes. I wish I could go an hour. So Dave, so someone's watching, so answer this one question 3 ways, or however way you want to. What would you like to leave with someone that's watching this video that, I mean, knows absolutely nothing about cryptocurrencies? And what would you say to that same person who is a beginner, but they have a basic fundamental understanding in the crypto space? Like, where would you have them? How would you direct them if you were talking to somebody like on the telephone right now?
Okay, if someone called me and say, how do I get into Bitcoin,
you know what? I'm brand new.
Example?
Dave, where do I go first?
Where do I go first? Yeah. Well, YouTube is a great place to start. I mean, technically, you can learn, virtually anything you want on YouTube. I mean, you have a great channel. You talk about the projects, which I agree with a lot of the projects that you like. I think they're great. Just start on YouTube.
Yeah.
If you don't want to, I mean, it's free education. If you want to subscribe on Patreon, that's fine. But just start YouTube and go from there. You can just go to YouTube and say, how do I buy Bitcoin? How do I store Bitcoin? Perfect place to start. And if someone, they don't know where to start, I say just start with a little bit. Start with if you want to own Bitcoin, that's fine. But not everybody can afford.
Yeah.
You can buy fractions of a Bitcoin, but not everybody can afford a full Bitcoin. I say, get some DigiByte, get some Litecoin.
Yeah.
Maybe a little bit Bitcoin. And Bitcoin's going to be around for a while. It's the cockroach of cryptocurrencies, for lack of a better word. But that's a compliment because I mean, Bitcoin just is never going to die. There's a website. I forget the name, but They've declared Bitcoin. The mainstream media has declared Bitcoin now 342 times over the past 9 or 10 years. And they say, oh, this is definitely the end. They keep saying, oh, the Bitcoin is done, it's done, it's done. It just keeps going up and up and up. It's so funny. So, yeah, start YouTube. If you want to join Patreon, that's fine. I'll be happy to help there, too.
So, just so everybody knows, I'm going to put all of Dave's links below, Twitter and Patreon. And, again, the purpose of the video wasn't so much to talk about Dave's Patreon channel, but remember what I said in the first 2 minutes of the video. My tweet 2 days ago was, hey, I'm on Twitter, I'm on YouTube. If you've got something to say, let's talk cryptos. So it kind of surprised me in a good way when Dave said last night, hey, can I talk about my Patreon channel? I said, absolutely. So the way my father used to say to me, he used to say, John, one way or another, you're going to pay for your education. And what he meant by that is you're either going to pay for your tuition, you know, or, I mean, not necessarily me. He helped me through school. But I'm saying someone's going to either write a check for their tuition, or you're going to learn the hard way through mistakes. So that could be a costly education too. And I'll be honest with you, Dave, and I'm not just saying this because you've got a Patreon channel. If I had it to do all over again, if I knew now what I knew back in 2017, and again, I'm not trying to promote your Patreon channel, I probably would have spent more money in my education, no pun intended, than kind of trial and error. And I've made one mistake on my Ether wallet, which we'll talk about next time. But yeah, sometimes it's better to, you know, again, no one's an expert, but to go to someone like you, who that's kind of your niche and your sweet spot, get your legs underneath you, and then kind of start to fly on your own. So I admire you for starting that Patreon channel. And again, there was a day when I had 5 subscribers, and then it was 10, and then I woke up one day and it was 100. And again, I'm still small at 3,500, but I'm having a blast. And again, I'm having a blast talking to guys like you all over the world, like-minded crypto people. So again, we'll do this again, Dave, but I appreciate your time, your expertise, and your skill set. And yeah, we'll do it again for sure.
Okay, great. Well, thank you very much. I really appreciate the invite, and I'm glad I checked Twitter a lot and saw your call to action. Yeah. And I'm always happy to talk cryptos. Always. That's what I do all day long. Always happy to talk cryptos. And whenever you're ready to do another video, I'll be happy to do it.
Okay. Thanks so much, Dave. We're definitely going to have you back. Thanks so much.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Okay. Bye-bye.